Today we're going to be talking about the inevitable. It is going to be the ban list predictions for late March, early April, before the whole entire national season starts. Since all those are going to be starting soon, let's take a look at the ban list predictions. Now, this is going to be very interesting of a prediction because I'm just going to be lightly hitting things and fixing a few things in the format while bringing back a ton of the cards that really don't need to be on the list anymore. Also, I do have a text box here so you can see the card effects so you can read it for yourself and judge on your own way. So let's get into it and let's talk about it. So first off, we're going to be going over the forbidden cards. Now the forbidden cards, there's not going to be many of them because in my opinion, I don't think that they're going to straight up ban a lot of the format. Now, first off, we have one of the cards that people really want banned, that'll be in the Sanctifier Dragon. This card being able to allow you to puppet lock still is very, very crazy, and being able to just run this card in anything so you can get a free floodgate with Jowgen is pretty stupid because Voiceless Voice is playing branded and they're teching this card in. So realistically, I think this is one of the cards that definitely could get hit like Branded Expulsion in the past. Now, another card that I sat down and talked with a few people about, World Sea Dragon Zelantis. Now, Zelantis is one of the cards in the Snake Eye decks, or even any deck that can make it, that is able to push for games super quick because it special summons cards to the field, so it triggers things like Promethean Princess, and you could destroy a fire, then you can trigger Salmon Great Raging Phoenix. And in the battle phase, you get to quick effect destroy cards up to the co-linked monster, so all the time you're going to have 2. I've popped for 4 before, and that was super, super crazy. In my opinion, being also a link 1, just taking 1 effect monster, is very strong of a card, and being able to reset stuff literally for no cost is pretty strong of a card. Overall, I do think that this card is going to get banned because of how powerful of a monster it is, and sadly, it's this truth about that. Now, after that, I'm going to be talking about 2 certain FTK cards. As we saw, Infernoid FTK almost topped the 3v3 YCS, and we've been seeing other FTKs pop up here and there. This card had it coming for quite some time. Blaze Phoenix, the Burning Bombardment Bird, being able to burn your opponent for 300 per card on field. And it cannot attack during the turn you activate this effect, but that's fine because you summon it first, burn for whatever, link into Promethean Princess, summon it back, burn for whatever, link away the Promethean Princess and something else to summon out Zelantis, and burn again for more. But in some decks you can summon multiples, and you can do double or triple the amount of the damage that you can. Overall, I definitely think that this is going to be banned in the future if things keep persisting the way they are, because people will always find ways to abuse this card and make it into an FTK. And on the other note of FTKs, we have Phantasmal Lord Ultimal Fish Balkan. Now, this card is seen in multiple FTKs. It was banned in Master Duel because certain FTKs. Plus, on top of that, it's just a really stupid card, being able to summon out as many tokens as you can so you can just link them away for whatever you need. Now, one of the things about this card, the reason why you can FTK is because you can make Geonator Transverser, switch it to your opponent's side, summon out number 33, Machimek, and burn your opponent per game. So it was either this card or Geonator Transverser, but this card would be the proper hit to do. Now, out of all of that, those are all my bans, which is quite a lot, just to fix a couple issues with the game and kill off a couple FTKs. And for people asking about Blaze Phoenix, you only need 1. So there is that. Now, let's get into the limits. There's quite a bit of them, and let's go over the ones that I think are going to be coming off the list. With the resurgence of Blaster, Tempest, and Redox in the game, Tidal, Dragon Ruler of the Waterfalls, I feel like is going to be coming back as well. It's the last remaining Dragon Ruler. Plus, it's Year of the Dragon, and this year is Year of the Light, so realistically, that light part doesn't matter. But since it's Year of the Dragon, I feel like this year we will see all the Dragon Rulers return to 3 in some form of aspect. After that, we have Magispector Unicorn Kieran. Since we've got in the new Magispector support, it has seen a couple tops here and there, but I definitely think this is going to be one card that will be coming off because Pendulums have not been doing anything, and giving this to Pendulums won't really see that much of a change. With the new Melodious stuff coming out, that would be pretty cool, seeing this card being teched into there, but also just having it for Draco Slayer would be very nice. To follow suit with the OCG, we have Heavy Storm. This card came back to 1 in the OCG, and honestly, I can definitely see it coming back here. It's a powerful card in the right deck, but honestly, if you have to destroy your spell and trap cards, that is a downside of it. So if you're playing a deck that's like Voiceless Voice or even Fire Kings, most of the time you're not going to be activating this card unless you're going second. And finally, after that, we have Zoodiac Trident. Zoodiac Trident was one of those cards that was banned back in 2021 because of Tribrigade Zoodiac, along with Zoodiac Barrage, but honestly, putting Zoodiac Trident back to 1 really won't do anything, and it's Zoodiac. The deck is good enough to play on its own, especially with the new horse stuff, so it definitely will help out the deck a little bit, because it is a quick effect interruption. Now, cards that I see going to 1. We have Kashjira Fenrir. I really don't like this card being playable at multiple copies. It's insane to me that TCG players aren't utilizing it to its fullest potential and making it another interruption on your boards. But realistically, I think this card could definitely go down to 1 to hit the current Kashjira deck, because all we have is a Rise Heart band, but the rest of the deck is full power. I definitely don't see the planets getting hit anytime soon because Rarity Collection, so there is that to put on top of it. This was a little spoiled a little earlier in the video, being Snake Eye Ash. Snake Eye Ash, this is one of your main starters of the deck as a light hit. And honestly, this card could definitely go down to 1, and people will still play Snake Eye whatever. Being able to search out any fire monster is super amazing. That's a level 1. And being able to send itself in another face up to the grave to summon out a Snake Eye monster from your deck is super good. Being able to summon something like either Oak, Poplar, or even your Plain Burge. So there's multiple cards that you can summon off of it, and you can get it multiple times. Even if it gets banished by a Call by the Grave or a DD Crow Soul Release, you still have the Snake Eye Oak to revive it. So if this were to go down to 1, I would definitely be playing 3 Poplar and 2 Oak, or maybe 1 Birch. And then finally we have another trio here. Last list, Konami hit Rivalry of the Warlords, goes in match, and there could be only 1. This time we're going to have Summon Limit, Anti-Spell Fragrance, and Skill Drain all go to 1. Floodgates are Floodgates. I've never had a problem with them until they brought back Imperial Order, and people are starting to utilize them so much more than they were before. Anti-Spell is great against so many decks right now that are spell heavy. Summon Limit is super good against everything that summons more than twice, and Skill Drain is because stun decks. So yeah, these 3 could go back down to 1, and I would not care the slightest. Next up, we have the semi-limits. I did want to put some stuff on here, so there's a little leniency on a few cards. We first off have Armageddon Knight. In my opinion, since Isolde, the first of the Noble Knights, or 2 tails of the Noble Knights I should say, is now forbidden, Armageddon Knight, Dark Grepher, both can come back to 3. In my opinion, these cards are way past their prime. Same for the dangers like Tsuchinoko and Jackalope. So I believe all of them can come off the list over time, but Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher are 2 of them that are pretty much 2 in the same when we're looking at them. Now, both were released back in Phantom Nightmare. Dark Grepher and Armageddon Knight were both one of the key pieces of many strategies. But since we have the game sped up so fast, these 2 cards alone aren't enough to do anything. This is Snake Eye Ash, realistically, but for darks. And honestly, overall, I do think that these two could be coming back off the list because no one is really wanting to run them anymore until we get the next dark deck that requires them. After that, we have Change of Heart. With Mind Control being to 3, Snatch Steal off the list, OCG has 2 Change of Heart. I definitely think this card could definitely come off in more copies because we have Triple Tactics Talent, but honestly, I would still run that over Change of Heart. But if they were to put 3 Change of Heart, 3 talents, I would probably consider Change of Heart more. And finally, for the semi-limits, we have Dragonic Diagram. Honestly, I just have it here because I know it can go to 3 and it won't do anything. OCG has it at 3, so honestly, this is one of the cards that could go to 3. And it was reprinted in Battle Legends Chapter 1, so there might be a possibility on that. Now for the unlimits, there are quite a bit of cards, but let's speed through them. Red Rose Dragon, this card was limited back in 2022 when Adventure Synchro Pile was a deck, and honestly, it could definitely come back off the list since no one's going to be running Adventure Synchro Pile unless they're playing Punk Adventure, which isn't the best right now. Orcus Harpour to 3, this card did nothing really at 1, and it could definitely go back to 3. Speedway Terratop went to 2, pretty cool. Putting it to 3 would be great. Dino Wrestler Pankratops can go to 3 because this is just a weaker Cashier Fenrir and it doesn't search itself, so you can't really replace it and have to hard draw it. Into the Void, we got Upstart Goblin back to 3, and honestly, this is the next one that I believe would come off the list, which would be very neat to have. Many FTKs are dead that involved burning your opponent with spell counters because the Tempest Magician's gone, so realistically, this can come back. Next up, we have Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. This card can definitely come back to 3, especially with the new Sky Striker support that we're going to be getting in Battle Legends Terminal offering in June, so that's going to be one thing to take a note on. Divine Wind of the Mist Valley. This card has been rotting on the ban list since 2013, with so many cards errated, like Ancient Fairy Dragon, or other things like Dwarlan, Grand Soil, and many other cards have errated, so any combos with this is not going to be doing much. It's going to be pretty cool to have it in Gen X, but other than that, this card does nothing. We have Nichiria Sacred Tree. This card was hit because of Ishizu cards, and honestly could come back to 3 and will not change much, and give a nice needed consistency boost back to Nichiria. The final 2 cards, we have Ancient Fairy Dragon. With the new errata, you only need 1, and you will only ever need 1, so it can go to 3. And Daigusto Emerald. This was banned back in Zodiac days, and then put to 1 later on. And this card has not seen play ever since. So realistically, putting Daigusto Emerald to 3 won't change anything. But that is it for the prediction video. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and let me know what you think on these predictions. Are there anything that I missed that you wanted to see hit or come off? Or is there anything that you would like to see come off or go onto the list? But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy, and see you all in the next video.